Hey all, welcome back to Neon's Movie Reviews. I'm Neon, this is my buddy Nate,
Hello.
and today we're talking about this film, Colossal. I think it came out 2016, and it's a really unique film. How would you describe this?
It's a breakup comedy thriller, big monster Pacific Rim meets a rom-com.
Yeah, that's seems about right.
Fatal Attraction meets a rom-com meets Pacific Rim.
Yeah, that's it's definitely a mix of genres that you would not expect to ever be mixed, but they really shouldn't work all together. But they have a way of working together.
Like feta cheese and watermelon. Like the first time somebody says that to you, you go, "What?
That's
Feta cheese and watermelon? That's disgusting. Why would you do that?" They go, "Here, shut up. Put this in your mouth." And you go, "Feta cheese and watermelon? That's absolutely wonderful together."
you're shitting me.
Oh no. All right, little background. I cooked for a really long time, but yeah, seriously, like the brininess and the saltiness of the feta cheese, and then the sweetness of the watermelon. Like you want like the like some deep red. You don't want out near the rind.
Okay.
I'm telling you, those two, with maybe just if you really want to go crazy, just put a tiny little piece of mint in between. It's tiny, not much.
So feta, mint, and watermelon.
You just start with just the feta and the watermelon, ease your way in, and then if you like that, go. You know what? Just like a nibble of mint, not even like not a whole mint leaf, not even like a half a mint leaf, like a quarter of a mint leaf. For like an inch cube and an inch cube.
That
I'm telling you. Anyway.
Okay.
Try that at home. and similarly, try this movie.
Yes.
Watch this movie.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, the way we just described that movie, you're just like, I don't want to watch that. When am I ever going to be in the mood for every one of those genres in a single movie? That sounds like a mess. That sounds like Rise of Skywalker. This is a mess. Except Colossal worked.
Yeah, it really works. They focus on the human element, and the monster element is kind of just the back piece to everything, forcing these characters to progress through these choices, and are forced to develop, and It works very well. I do not want to go into any spoilers in this pre-spoilers part. Like we'll get into that, but like right here, like nope. But basic plot is this. I almost said Anna Kendrick. I'm blanking on her name.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. Thank you.
She's a party girl.
Yes. Anne Hathaway, party girl. She heads home.
She's made some bad life choices.
Mm-hmm. She's heads back to her hometown and
comes into contact with a former
classmate. Former
elementary school classmate.
Yeah, elementary classmate. They
Jason Sudekis.
Yeah, played by Jason Sudekis. They hang out. Start partying. He offers her a job working at his bar, and then a giant monster attacks Korea.
Which you actually kind of see at the very beginning of the movie.
Which, yeah, that was 5 years before the current events, and that's all I really want to say before we get into our spoiler free or our spoiler section of this review. Mm-hmm. But Nate, would you recommend this movie?
I really really liked this movie. Actually, when we were discussing what the next video was going to be, I still haven't seen The Town, and he had lent me The Town, and it's sitting right next to my entertainment center. And several times I've wanted to put it in, I haven't. I was like, you know what? Haven't seen The Town, and I was flipping through some other movies, and I saw this movie, and I clicked into it and saw who the cast was, and I kind of read a brief synopsis. I did not read any reviews. I don't.
Right.
I like to read other people's reviews after I've seen a movie, but never before. Mm-hmm. I want to see if if we're on the same page, if we've thought about the same things, or what I haven't thought about. I don't like to go in with preconceived ideas.
Right.
I'm not big into watch it as much as I love Star Wars. Even as early as the prequel trilogy, after Episode 1, I didn't watch trailers for it. None of them. Like, yeah, clones and Sith, and then these three. I never watched any of the trailers for them.
Okay.
Like, I want to go in with nothing. But so I read the brief synopsis, and I was like, this is a movie that it sounds crazy. What is it? I said, how about we do this movie Colossus?
Yep, I hadn't seen it, so
I highly recommend it. Yes.
Yeah, I would as well. I was just saying that, like, when you recommended it, I hadn't seen it as well, and so it was just like, absolutely, let's check it out. But yeah, this
absolutely recommend it, and for entertainment value, I give it I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. I really liked it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would give the same. Yeah, 4.5 out of 5. This was a really really good film. But that's gonna wrap up our spoiler free section. Please, if you have not seen this movie, do not stay through to this part. Like, just go see this movie. But if you've seen this movie, definitely stick around for the spoiler free or the spoiler section. And yeah,
Right, you've been warned.
Yeah,
you've had no time.
Yeah.
What was your first surprise?
The mass amount of people that die in this movie.
That was your first surprise?
Yes. Like, I saw the monsters, but I'm still just like, okay, it's a comedy. Like, it's lighter in tone from what I'm expecting. So, okay, the monster's probably going to be, like, somewhat misunderstood and connected to these characters. I didn't pick up that what was actually going to be going on right from the get-go. So when those first reports came in of all the damage and everything, I was just like, oh, okay. And yeah, and then as it unfolded, it was just like
Jason just presses on her about how many people died.
Right. Yeah. No, that
especially after she had admitted and let them all in the secret.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then yeah, after that I would say the Jason's turn in the movie.
I don't know. I have to admit, I think my first surprise was that first scene with the little girl. And she's just like you don't see the monster, but
well, yeah, you do. You see it, not clearly, right, but you do see it.
I was just like, well, I saw it on the on the cover art, whatever. But I was just like, okay, they're giving that away right away. Okay, and it was like 25 years later, and okay, well, where'd it go? Like, you showed me Godzilla in the first scene, and then you're taking it away. What's going on?
Jump 25 years later,
right. Jump 25 years after.
It is not a post-apocalyptic world.
No, and we have already talked about the guests.
Yes.
And that was one of the things that sold me on this movie. When I was looking at the cast, I was like, ooh, that's this Dan Stevens guy. Again, I don't know him from any of his British things. Only knew him from the guests on Beauty and the Beast. And I was like, all right, now I want to see him in something else. So him as Anne Hathaway's...
Yeah, very...
I'm kicking you the fuck out. Like, your stuff's in the other room. Don't worry about the luggage. It's cheap. I don't need it back. I was like...
Damn.
Wow. And then when he walked out, and I felt sorry for her. And then he walked out, and all those other people walked in, and I was like, oh, I don't feel sorry for her no more. Like, drinking up all my liquor. like, I don't care that your friends are coming in, I guess. I mean, I do that you're lying to me, but drinking up all my liquor?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even bring in their own liquor. I'm not alright with that.
Yeah, very quickly, I feel he was definitely justified in what he did. It was very, very much needed for this character's journey.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and obviously they were probably not going to be together much longer regardless. Very different very different people.
A very professional kind of dude.
But yeah, very, very different performance than the guest. Night and day,
and Beauty and the Beast,
which I have
even
not
different
seen.
than that one.
But yeah, I would imagine. Yeah. But yeah. Let's talk about Jason Sudekis.
Sudekis is right in this movie. That guy was just seriously like. At first, I'm like, this is a nice guy. He's helping her out. Just
keeps giving her stuff.
Yep.
And when he was giving her stuff, I was like, this is weird. And she's like, oh no, we talked about it when you were drunk last night. Oh, don't you remember? Oh, okay. And I was like, all right, nothing to it.
Yeah.
That was my only like red flag. But then it was just like, oh, well, she's a party animal. All right, whatever.
Yeah, he's totally bought into it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but.
And he was gaslighting her.
Yeah,
the entire time.
He's just toying with her. He's always like envied her and like at first I found it very jarring, like because he goes like immediately from just like super friendly, like buddy to just asshole, like just insulting his friends, tearing everybody down. I was just like, what the hell? Did the script just call for a villain? Like, what's going on? It literally
made me think of The Crush.
What? Yeah, I don't know.
Alicia Silverstone?
I never saw that, no. Something very jarring, or... No, go on. You brought it up. It's like, you can talk about it.
Well, I mean, like, because in The Crush, Alicia Silverstone is... I'm pretty sure she probably was around that age. She's playing this, like, 15-year-old who... Cary Elwes is a writer. He's looking for a place to live, and
okay,
Alicia Silverstone's family, they're pretty well off, and they have like a mother-in-law suite or something like above their garage or whatever. So he like rents that, and she has a crush on him. And she just like, at first she seems like this sweet chick, and then you can tell like she's hitting on him, and it's uncomfortable to watch. You're like, this isn't okay. Like. Well, why am I watching? Why are we putting this in the movie? And then she gets full on crazy. I'm not gonna give any spoilers here. She gets full on crazy. But anyway, so yeah, there's kind of like a switch.
Okay.
You know, and it just reminded me of that. And so I was just like, ooh.
Okay.
I mean I thought it was crazy that it happened as quickly as it did. But I instantly just wrote it off as, well, sometimes that happens. Like, because, you know, he's like, yeah. I want that.
Right.
Oh, fucking my boy. But she wanted my boy.
Right.
You know?
That's not, yeah. So.
And I tried to break you guys up before. Like, kind of tried to make it known that I was interested in you. It's still fucking nuts because she can still be interested in whoever she wants to be interested in.
Right. But I can understand his motivations.
That's why he's gone crazy.
Yeah, that's well, that, and it was, and I went back to see if it was there after I watched the movie, and because it's such a jarring turn that his character makes, and I did feel that I did notice that almost all of his comments beforehand were like backhanded compliments. And so I was just like, oh, I just didn't pick up on this.
He's never genuine with her.
Right. I just never picked up on it. And it was just like, okay, all right, well played, movie. Well played. So for me, his performance worked overall, but at first it was very jarring. Where I was like, I need to rewatch some scenes to see if this actually works or not.
Like when they figured out what was going on, and then she trips and falls. You know, how many people died? And he's like, not that many.
Right.
Well, because this robot thing showed up.
Yeah. No, that. Well, yeah. So, all right. So we haven't brought this up. So she controls she is the monster when she's like in this
at 8:05.
At 8:05, if she is in the
morning.
The playground at 8:05 in the morning, she becomes this monster in Korea, and just whatever she does, it does.
In Seoul, Korea.
Seoul, Korea. Yes. So it's not like actually attacking anything unless she is.
Right.
So, but most of the time
it's not moving unless she is.
Right, but so most of the time it's not destroying buildings on purpose. It's just walking right through them because she's walking through the park. And
one of the guys from the bar comments about that.
Yep.
I think it's being remote controlled. You notice it doesn't look down. It doesn't look around.
Yep. And she starts noticing some tics that it does that she does. She always scratches the spot in her head. And so she goes back, keeps testing it out.
You keep getting flashbacks of her as a little girl too, walking with Jason Sudekis.
Yeah,
and they both have things in their hand, and you can't tell what they are.
Yeah, they're these, but you can tell they're like school projects or something, and definitely on their way to school. So yeah, she realizes she's in complete control of this thing she brings her new buddies there, shows them. They're all freaking out. Yeah. Oh yeah. You'd be in shock or just like, dude, look at this.
Right.
And
make
then
it moonwalk.
Right. And then she trips. And like destroys a large part of the city. And they show the footage, and Jason Sudekis is just kind of like, oh, it's whatever. Like the robot showed up, so nobody's really talking about the deaths.
Right.
And
like, what robot? So it turns out that when Jason Sudekis gets into the playground at the same time, this giant robot shows up.
Right.
That mirrors his movements.
Yeah.
In America. So
they each have their own avatar or whatever you would call it. So once his character turns, it becomes her protecting the city from him. Because he basically every day that she doesn't do what he wants, he'll destroy the city.
Right. Becomes very controlling. Mm-hmm. You know, and
very manipulative.
And I love that, you know, Dan Stevens kind of comes back at the end.
Mm-hmm. That was nice.
And she's like, I'm gonna leave with you, and he's just like, no, you're not. I bet you're not. When he set off that huge firework inside the bar, like, this is the most irresponsible thing I could do inside the bar. You're still not leaving.
Yep, I was so in the guest mode as he was giving that speech leading up to that. I was just like, what is behind door number 1? Like, what is he about to do?
Yeah.
That was a very intense scene.
When she went to the airport, though, I knew she wasn't going to New York.
No.
Because
there's no way.
Well, and they gave you the little shot where she had the map of U.S. and Korea, and there's a line drawn between the two, and one of the thumbtacks falls out and it flips upside down, and she kind of cocks her head sideways, and I was like, oh. I instantly thought the same thing she thought. This goes both ways. Mm-hmm. And so when she shows up at the airport, I was like, she's going to Korea. I know what she's doing. I know what she's doing. And then when
I didn't pick up on it until until they until they
Dan Stevens.
And I was just like, oh yeah, okay.
Anne Hathaway is she's
good
good in the movie, but
yeah, she's
the whole role kind of felt like it was like, hey, I got this really funny thing I want to write for Anna Kendrick.
And that's the only issue I really have with her performances. It's just like, I don't buy you in that role.
Right.
Like, you're a great actress. You're doing a great job.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I love her in the movie.
Yeah, she does a great job.
At the same time, I just go, but I don't feel like
that's not you.
Right. The whole time I'm watching you,
You're
I feel
acting.
like you're Anne Hathaway acting like Anna Kendrick.
Like, this should have been Anna Kendrick.
I
feel.
I mean, she wasn't like doing an Anna Kendrick impersonation. She wasn't doing her voice. It wasn't, it wasn't like that or anything. But at the same time,
just that type of character,
right? It was that type of character, and I just kind of. I guess if you're also going to cast Jason as the male, Anna's a little too young to be playing them as classmates. That's my issue swinging back that way.
Fair enough.
So that was, in the end, I was just like, you know what? Anne Hathaway is an amazing actress. She does good with every single thing I've ever seen her in. And in the end, I didn't think she did poorly. I thought she did really well. So
yeah. No,
I was like, it just wasn't a role that I felt was good for her. But somehow she all right. She took lemons and she made lemonade with the role.
Right. Didn't become an issue for me once she stopped becoming an alcoholic. Like once she stopped passing out.
Right.
I stopped noticing it. Yeah, then it was just like, okay, now I'm sold. I'm within the character. This is all believable as Anne Hathaway.
Right. But maybe it's because I know she's a mother and things like that. I'm like, I just can't buy you as this early part. Like, I just can't buy you in that part.
Yeah, her constantly passing out, all that stuff. I was just like, no, this drunk humor that we're doing here, it's just not working for me as you.
Right.
It's working. It's funny, but it's just not as you.
Because it was far. It was like Anne Hathaway as Arthur.
Right.
The Dudley Moore. Like it was alcoholic as all get out, and you're just. And I think that's it. I'm sorry, I can't buy Anne Hathaway as an irresponsible alcoholic. Does that make me a bad person? That I look at her and I go, no, I just don't buy you as this irresponsible alcoholic. No matter how well you're acting it, I can't buy that as you. Like every other thing that you're doing in the movie, I absolutely love.
Yeah,
I can't believe that you're irresponsible. I'm sorry, I won't. So I mean,
fair enough.
When I really kind of wanted him to grab at her, or at least try to grab at her, and like mess something up or whatever, for her to, and maybe that for have been the reason why she got mad enough to throw him. But yeah, we were talking about that, like like you're in the arms of something like this. I mean, it's kind of 6 in one hand, half a dozen on the other. I mean, like
probably
if I were her, I wouldn't have let him go no matter what. He could have been like, please, I promise I'll never do it again, and then he could have been honest, and I still would have chucked him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I could have also just been like, okay, well, all right, my ring finger's around both your legs. Let me just flatten that really quick, and okay.
Or maybe pull the kids in the hall. I'm crushing your heads, and just smash his head. Or just roll your hands like this really hard. See what happens, See if something comes. If
giant monster. It's not your fault.
If he's alive that comes out the other end, then so be it. Just roll it a couple times and pull LeBron, throw it up in the air.
See, my issue with it was her as a character killing him. That was my issue with it. Not feeling any guilt over it. Yes, he was an asshole. Yes, all this. yes, she was hurting people and killing people, but
You don't know
I
she
don't
didn't
buy
have
her.
guilt.
I don't buy that she would, that the character that was presented to us throughout that film would have made that decision in the end. That was my one issue with it, with her killing him.
Oh man, she came into her power, her womanly power.
I guess, but
You know, this is the I'm not taking shit from anybody anymore moment, you know?
yeah, I get that, but it was just like, I don't feel you're a killer, and that was my thing. Like it's something I have an issue with in like most superhero movies as well. But where it's just like, you shouldn't be killing these villains. Like, this is not the purpose of these types of stories, is to be killing these villains. This is not, you know. And so in this story with her overcoming these things, it bothered me that she had to kill somebody to finally get past and achieve everything, and finally cross that hurdle. It was like, you don't have to kill your bully. There's other ways to defeat your bully.
Oh, I totally didn't even take it that way.
Yeah, that's was my issue with it, and I was like, I don't know if that was the message you're going for. The way the like from after that, you know, from her walking into the bar, just like, I got a story for you, like, you know, all of that was great. I loved how the movie ended, but just her actually throwing him, I was just like, okay. I could have seen something like, you know, when he called her a bitch, that she broke his legs or hurt him, but still not killed him.
I took it as the Highlander. There can be only one.
I could see that, but
Two of them were there. One of them had to die. He was going to kill her eventually. Mm-hmm. With his abuse.
Mm-hmm. But
there can be only one.
I could see that.
Again, I love the movie.
Oh no, it didn't ruin the movie for me. That was just one or two nitpicks. Yeah, I really love this movie. I highly recommend it. But that's gonna wrap this one up. I definitely appreciate you guys watching this. If you like this, please give this video a like. Subscribe for more. We're going to be talking about Predestination coming up here. Bunch of other movies coming up. The Town is going to be coming up. Yeah, definitely stay tuned for more. But stay safe, all.